and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. A happy International Chocolate Day. Not to be confused, of course, with National Chocolate Day in the United States, which is the 28th of October. I mean, there is some controversy there because, of course, the US National Confectioners Association have 13th September as International Chocolate Day, coinciding as it does, of course, with the birth of Milton Hershey. Anyway, there we go. And, of course, Ghana celebrate Chocolate Day on February the 14th. And Latvia, of course, will join us celebrating International Chocolate Day in 4 days' time. And that's enough about International Chocolate Day. Hello, readers. Thanks for listening. We have confirmed at last what I imagine many of you have long suspected, that Burple's Figurine of Wondrous Power is anything but. And we'll get to that in this week's episode. If you are enjoying our story, may I implore you, please, to subscribe on your podcast app of choice, and of course to rate us and leave a review if you can, which is absolutely ideal. We'd love to hear from you. You can message us on social media. You can find us on Twitter at Billowing Hillto. You can find us on Facebook. And of course, as always, you could email us at hello@billowinghilltop.com. And after we've read your message, and we would love to read your messages out on the show, Paul, I believe, is printing out your emails, stitching them together into a solar sail so that what is left of him can escape his captivity with us here in the command pod, and he can return to his home planet and be amongst his own kind. I have no other news or information, which is probably for the best. Let us push on, therefore, with episode 98 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast, Vulture Shock. I've hit an unfortunate side effect of resuming my 5k running routine.
Which is?
I can't walk.
I just did a workout for the first time in ages yesterday, and I also can't walk.
Yeah,
particularly downstairs.
The actual running is all right.
My quads
it's the
are
after
killing
recovery that gets you.
I climbed up to something called the Old Man of Storr the other week, which is a sort of rock prong on the Isle of Skye. And despite the fact that I've been running relatively regularly and all of that, my God. I mean, it's an hour and a quarter up this sort of rock staircase scramble, whatever, and it was not not pleasant. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here with Dr. Eusebio, Spider Lucas, Dan, Graham, Johnny, but I am afraid to say that finally we have run out of serviceable bits of Paul to participate in our game. And so he's not around, and we're trying to grow in the command pod. We're using a vat to grow from another bit of him, something that we can use. Sit in that chair and run Alessandra. But until then, I guess we do the dice thing.
He's in one of those Starship Troopers type,
He's in the Bacta tank.
Liquid pods that's basically, with the lasers zipping backwards and forwards.
God knows what he's going to look like when he comes out. I mean, he doesn't look particularly attractive. When he went in, there's not even a mouth. And there's certainly nothing that can roll any dice.
I think there will always be a mouth.
As we know, the last bit of Paul to go will be a different orifice altogether.
You're right.
And the very core and heart of his being. Shall I do a recap? Does anybody want me to do one? Anybody else want to do one?
Yeah, go on.
Why doesn't somebody else do one?
Basically, I realised, having listened back to some old episodes, that I was told about this River of Blood and that I should look out for it. So we basically found a River of Blood. We searched around a lot. I threw my Figurine of Wondrous Power. You did me up like a kipper and gave me some kind of infected version, which is going to eat us all, and some sort of giant blood cells that are also going to eat us all.
Okay, so there are giant blood cells. I did not do you up like a kipper. You freely picked that Figurine of Wondrous Power. You remember where you found it, right?
Yes, but it was Magic Hall.
Found it in the Museum of Horrible Objects. The vast majority of...
Get a dice consumed by having it.
Yes.
I think so, yes.
Funnier.
An extremely satisfying development. Yes, you did. You basically got rid of...
Not anymore, though.
Pretty much.
Every cloud.
Well, we'll see about that. I mean, these cursed items, they don't tend to leave you.
Yes, they do.
Most of the stuff that you found in that weird museum, in Zerksog's lair, the lair of the Mind Flayer, you basically disposed of as being too weird and scary. The one thing that you kept is this thing. And it's not in a good mood with you. You've cast it on the ground, and it's clearly not a griffin. It's clearly some kind of fiendish hybrid between some sort of awful mangy lion and a vulture.
Type 1 demon.
A Type 1 demon, a vrock, I think they're called. You met Hesty last week. Hesty, I thought, was off form when you met him, but you learnt a little bit. You rescued him from his globe of lightning. He's headed off back to Diamond Lake when you told him that his house had been destroyed. He had been exploring this area. He believes it to be the tomb of somebody called Ecosiel. You've kind of worked that out already. And he thinks that buried somewhere here are artifacts of great power that may help you to prevent or fight the onrush of the Age of Worms. He left you with a stone seal. It's not a seal noise, is it? That's like
we're never
bear.
going to survive.
Anyway, a stone seal, which you feel is, or he feels is important in some respect with exploring this place. Don't know what that is. And then he headed off.
What does it look like, this stone seal?
Well, it's about the size of a biscuit tin, and it's got 3 runes inscribed on it. One of which you think is the rune that means the rune meaning wind duke or farty or something like that.
So it
Hold up.
looks like it'll slot into something.
It's more like it's a big stone object. It doesn't look like it's a part of a mechanism. It doesn't look like it's the sort of a key or no. It just looks like it's a great big, it's a biscuit tin sized stone tablet, basically. Give me a second. Here we go. Okay. How embarrassing. It's a disc of crystal, about a foot in diameter. So I got that bit right. Carved from a single large quartz crystal and polished to a glossy finish. One side is engraved with 3 runes. One of those runes you recognise. It's the rune that signifies Ecosiel. Other 2 runes, you're not sure. I think you've had a kind of go at getting what they mean, but you don't know what they mean. The other side of this object depicts a wind duke holding the actual object itself, so it's a sort of weirdly kind of recursive thing, up before a pair of massive black doors whilst standing on a floating disc of air about the same size as the seal itself. That's what it looks like.
Right.
How about that? All of this, of course, we are discussing as this fiendish, cursed griffin creature and these giant blood clots swarm up at you. We really ought to roll initiative at some point. Maybe we should roll initiative now. What do you think?
Why not?
Okay.
Let's do initiative now, shall we?
Let's roll initiative.
Great song.
16 for Burple.
14 for Parker.
14 for
11
Parker.
for Sessions.
Uncle Buggy?
5. Can I just roll a dice a few times just to get some bad rolls out?
Sure.
Oh shit.
20.
Roll away, yeah.
Just got rid of a 20, got rid of a
16,
16.
any difference whatsoever, yeah.
Got rid of 19. Oh, fuck it. Alright, I'll stop doing that. Sorry, excuse
That's
the language.
all the good rolls for this evening.
Oops.
Sorry, I don't know why I find that so funny.
Brilliant set of rolls.
It
Awesome.
must be the altitude.
Who's rolling for Sandy?
Looking forward to that.
Let's go round the table. Running a d4. 1 Lucas. 2 Graham. 3 Dan. 4 Johnny. It is 3 Dan. You're running Alessandra. Anybody got any idea how she works?
Yeah, plus 3 initiative.
12.
She's surprisingly squishy.
Is she?
Really?
Is that why I have to keep saving her?
Yeah, I think possibly so.
Squishy as in
Dice.
not many hit points.
Not many hit points, not much armor class.
Low number. Let me just check something. Okay. Top of round 1. Standing there looking aghast at this creation of yours, Burple. Well, it's not your creation, but you know what I mean.
You make me sound like Filge.
You're standing at the bank of the river. You've got these horrible blood things coming towards you from your east, coming, as it were, upstream towards you. There's a couple of these things.
Yes.
And on the other side, the Parker and Alessandra is this horrible griffin, fiendish, twisty thing. On 16, what do you want to do?
This thing is definitely, looking, the griffin vulture thing.
It looks like it's in the process of throwing its head back in order to issue an awful scream, but it hasn't yet screamed. I'm not quite sure how we've managed to do that, but hey, fuck it. But it's
Right.
definitely fixed its malevolent, gleaming little eyes on you, and it looks like it doesn't like you at all.
How big is it?
Well, it's large. It's got a 10-foot by 10-foot base.
I'm thinking...
It's rearing over Parker. Parker's standing right next to it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that we want to deal with these things one at a time. I'm thinking dome wall of force over the top of it.
Don't they teleport?
What, griffins?
Type 1 demons.
Oh, you think it's a Type 1 demon?
Yeah, that's what Mike was suggesting.
Yeah,
You look
Okay.
like one of the Type 1 demons.
I understand.
For the reader's benefit, Type 1 demon is a first edition
Version
creature.
Yeah, but it's called a Vrock
of rock.
in 5th edition.
Yes.
It certainly
Sorry,
looks
I
like a cross
just-
between one of those and a weird mangy lion. Infer from that what you will.
Well, I think we can only deal with what's in front of us, really, can't we? And we need to... what spells?
Fairy fire?
Oh, I've used my 5th level spells.
Doesn't it screech?
Well, I can't do anything about that. I could do a Dissonant Whispers on it, I suppose. 4th level Dissonant Whispers.
You can't have another long rest until after midnight.
Of course, yes.
Let's call it 8, 9 o'clock in the evening of weekday, the 3rd of Fart.
I'm in the worst possible situation because I've got these two things closest to me, and this thing, even though it's further away, there's characters in between, seems to be fixing on me. So
Yeah, but there's 2 of us between you and it, so...
yeah, but if it screeches, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Well, screech is an area of effect, surely.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if I move, if I get out of dodge, lure it away by some time. Tricky. I apologise, guys. Might just do Dissonant Whispers on it, or I might do Confusion on it. Trouble is, these two things, I don't know what these two things are going to do, and I don't even know what they are. They just look like giant blood cells.
Well, they could be an encounter on their own. Remember,
Yeah,
we
I think
put
they
the
are
Griffin
an
in
encounter.
ourselves.
Yeah, the Griffin is a complication, because obviously that I brought that in, but
Yeah.
They're not going to come out the river, though, are they?
I think
Are
they
they?
floated up top of it, and they're coming towards us, aren't they? I think they are.
They got legs?
Are they
Are
flying?
they
I don't
like
know.
oozes?
I think they're like sort of floating bubbles.
Yeah,
I mean, they've
whatever,
got-
they just waddle along.
They're sort
won't
of they're sort of wibbly wobbly blobs. I think I described them last week as animated bruises.
Ugh.
It's a particularly unpleasant image.
I'm going to do a confusion spell on the Griffin stroke Rock. Wisdom save DC 15.
Well, let's see what happens. First roll gets a 6, not enough. Second roll.
Cock.
With an 18, it saves. It looks at you even more angrily. Want to move?
wondering if
Want to do
I-
anything else?
That's what I'm looking at.
You feel strangely drawn to this river of blood, Burple.
Cock off.
Oh, you love the river so much.
I don't like this situation at all, but I could...
Well, there is one option. We could just all jump in the river.
Yeah,
That's
it'll
what we're
still
supposed to
come
do
after us.
anyway.
Is it?
Maybe these blobby things are like lifeguards, swimming instructors. Oh, I see that
How did you get there?
Burple's miniature has
Well,
moved
I'm just measuring.
extremely high
So in
speed.
theory, I can run out of the room. It would get an attack of opportunity, but I'm worried about these things because I too am quite squishy.
It would get an attack of opportunity if at the point where you were running through the door and you were close enough to it. Yeah. I mean, Sessions is standing in the doorway. Buggy's standing, unsurprisingly, just outside the door.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're not bad, these blood clot things.
They look
Maybe
really
they're
nice.
like
They look lovely.
Maybe they're like an inflatable dinghy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
could be.
likely. Yeah, that's likely.
Well,
Basically, that's what you do: is you put monsters down that actually turn out to be really cuddly and lovely. That tends to be what happens.
Maybe
in
the
D&D.
point of this is that, they don't look attractive, but you should go more than
Books
skin
and
deep.
covers.
look beyond.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sensitive personalities.
how are these things behaving? They are just bobbing in the water.
Well, they're heading towards you.
Bobbing
cuddly.
along.
At what kind of speed?
They're sort of quite slow, you think. But I mean, not so slow that they wouldn't reach you in their next turn, whenever that might be, should they be wishing to reach you. And when they do reach you, of course, maybe it's just to deliver welcome
A
pack,
garland of
a
flowers. Yeah, I'm going to
small
move
bouquet.
away from them
Yes.
towards
They go,
the demon
"Oh,
thing.
we wanted to be your friend.
Yeah, that'll do. It's not a good round. I chose wrongly with that bloody confusion spell.
Okay,
I was
so
hoping to neutralise it.
So you're just running up-
temporarily while we
okay.
made
At least it was
decisions.
quick and efficient.
Yeah, it went
yeah,
zip
slow
to
and
we've absolutely
inefficient.
absolutely
I
rattled
think.
through that round. So
Just
you're
trying to
Yeah.
you're
count the number of dice rolls I could have done in that time.
1 hour into the play.
I think we would have got the answers to at least 2 questions, Lucas, in that time.
I don't think we would have got into some of the sub clauses, but
Yeah,
Or at least the first clauses, anyway.
yeah.
so burbledy herbledy herbish. You are gathering with Parker and Alessandra, Sandy, at the foot of this twisted griffin vrock type 1
Yeah.
demon monster horror. Fine, that's what
Yes.
you're doing. And that's it.
Position A.
You're
for
done,
the
you're done,
breath.
you're done. Parker,
Screeching
if it is the
weapon.
real Parker on 14, this thing is looming over you, Parker. The weird, blobby blood creatures are swoobling up behind you up the river. What do you want to do?
I think I'm just going to lay into it, basically. First attack hits armor class 25,
Hit. What are you hitting it with?
flame tongue.
Just trying to do a bit of working around commas here.
What?
I can't share the details with you here, Lucas,
Okay.
but the bottom line is that commas are important. Punctuation matters, Lucas.
Yes.
Tell me about the damage you did.
7 plus 4, The 7 is
Yeah, got it.
sword,
got
and
it.
the 4
And
is
it's a magical
fire.
sword, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then armor class 21,
Also a hit.
5 plus 9. Yeah. And then the unarmed strike
yeah, okay.
is a miss, I think,
Good.
at
I
9.
think we'll
And
be
this.
pleased with that. Yeah. Oh.
And then a 26, which is a hit for 6 points of damage.
Bludgeoning damage.
And yes.
Is that an unarmed strike?
Yes, which is
that-
also magical. And
Fine.
I'm also going to do
It looks quite resistant to your fire
a
damage.
stunning strike on it. So it needs to make a Constitution saving throw DC 14.
Rolling an 11, it makes that save.
That's it for me.
You're not
then.
moving?
Um,
Just double checking before we move on to...
no.
Should
I'm
we
not
just call
moving.
her Alessandra all the way through tonight's session? Just in a really straightforward way. Alessandra, it's your
Yeah.
round. What do you want to do?
Who's running it?
You are.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
Oh, it's me again.
Yes.
This round, yeah. Unfortunately,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
really on top of things.
Does Dan realises
Incredibly.
with
Okay,
mounting
so,
glee
yeah, so
that he's got his own personal defence assistant.
yeah, exactly. So Alessandra is going to shoot one of the blobby things.
Blobby near or blobby far?
Blobby near.
Blobby near.
Well, I don't know what she rolls, so I'll just roll a d20 and
Yeah.
it's a natural 18.
That's going to be enough. She's got two options. She either uses her longbow or...
They haven't acted in combat, have they? So do I get a sort of some kind of
Well,
thing?
they haven't taken an action in combat, which means you attack at advantage.
Yeah.
But not every hit is automatically a critical because that's a surprise thing. They're not surprised. They are, in fact, instigating.
Do I get sneak attack?
You do.
So
I don't know what that is.
So
But
it's hand crossbow.
so either she attacks with the crossbow and the rapier, or she attacks with the longbow.
longbow.
Longbow. She's going to do a D8 plus 2 plus whatever, and then she gets her sneak attack damage, which is going to think 5d6.
Is that correct, Graham?
D8 plus 5.
D8
And the
plus
sneak
5.
attack is 5d6.
That's 25 points of damage on the blobber thing.
Her arrow slurps into the corpulent body of this squadge monster. Does seem to wound it.
And
That
she's got mobility, hasn't she?
she's got mobility.
So I think I'm worried about the screen. She would probably move over sort of out of sight, kind of here-ish.
For the benefit of the readers, Alessandra has darted off the beach back into the room with the weird chandeliers where they first met the spider and has tucked herself away in a sort of shielded position. And we move on to Sessions on 11, who are in the doorway. This fiendish griffin thing is standing over you.
Like he doesn't like. So I'm wondering
Nobody
whether
likes
to
purple
just sort
very
of
much.
I mean, who
sneak
does?
away and see if it ignores me, or sneak away and see if it ignores me. I mean, this feels very much like what I should do.
Give me an insight check.
19.
It would only be fair to communicate to you that though this thing seems fixated upon Burple, it looks genuinely hostile.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's a question of whether by sneaking away I meant take the withdrawal action and run around out of its sight, hoping that it'll chew on someone else,
I'm
or
just
try and make
wondering,
it go away.
Can things take reactions if they haven't had a round yet?
Don't ask complicated rule questions like that.
If it, yeah, I've got a feeling.
Buggy's taking out his player's handbook.
An unsurprised character may use a reaction before their first turn.
Okay, so there we are.
I either withdraw or I try and make it go away, but I know now that it has 2 saves, which is a little bit annoying. But I'm feeling lucky, so I'm going to try and banish it, Mike.
Okay.
Invoke misfortune to send it away.
You're calling on the Lady Luck Misfortune.
Yeah.
Let's check something. Okay, I'm saying it is a creature. Okay, it's got to make a...
Charisma 16 saving throw.
Charisma save isn't very good, but it does get the 2 dice rolls. Let's see where the first roll is.
so annoying.
Saves. It's exactly the number it needed.
Okay, well, I tried that.
There's the blue dice of power.
That's really, really annoying.
It's next, everybody.
I'm going to move away.
Not using the, whatever it is, the disengage or withdraw or whatever it's
I
called.
don't know if I've had my action.
Well,
so
it
no.
is going to swipe at you with a talon if you do that. Yep.
I thought it was going to, yeah. I'm.
You're getting a 17, hitting armor class 23.
That would be a hit.
You take 9 and
19.
yeah, you take 19 points of slashing damage.
That's rather annoying.
Ouch! And it
Not doing that kind of brave
is
stuff again.
it, and it is also the blob creatures. First things first. What it's going to do is it's going to screech.
Woe
I
be
think
me,
I
Fig
said that it
Sessions.
was preparing to screech. I think I've committed to that. So that's what it's going to do. It's a horrific sound. All creatures within 20 feet that can hear it, I'm afraid it's all of you. Can everybody give me
Is this-
DC 14 Constitution saves?
Is this about being frightened?
No. Yeah.
17. Makes the save.
Makes the save. Oh,
Purple.
makes the save. Sessions.
All Sessions
makes
rolls an
the
18 for a
save.
23.
All we've got left now is Alessandra and Uncle Buggy.
Okay, here we go.
Hey.
Damn it. 18. God.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
But you get to
Uncle-
re-roll
It's a-
that because it's a 1.
I get
Uncle
to
Buggy.
re-roll because it's a 1.
Yeah. Getting a 10, so 16. You all save, and it will move.
I will waggle my eyebrows
It's
at.
going to stay where it is. During the meanwhile, behind you, Purple, up swerble the creatures. Creature 1 swerbles up onto the shore and extends towards you a sort of blob of bloody squabbliness.
Technical term.
Yeah, it is. I looked it up.
Wobbliness, yeah.
It only gets 1 attack, rolling an 8, hitting armor class 16, not going to be enough. And then the other one swerbles up behind it and makes it right up behind you, Burple. It's sort of on the shore right next to you, looming over you, but doesn't get to attack you. That was it. That's all they do. On to Uncle Buggy on 5.
Yeah, Tumblegate. Right, I'm moving up. I'm raging. And I'm going to bash.
Okay, sort of
First
potato hitting.
attack, 24.
It's a hit.
16 points of damage, 6 of which is fire. The second hit, 14.
Is a miss, I'm afraid.
Okay,
I'm very sorry to say. Is that it from you?
that's it, yeah.
Okay, back to Purple on 16. Now you're surrounded by stuff.
Yeah.
You got
Except
weird blobs, and you got
I don't know.
this
what
blob
to do.
attacked you from 10 feet away, Burps.
So if I move, it's going to get attack of opportunity.
You think so?
I was thinking of stepping up and hitting the rock, but
I think if you were to step a square towards the rock, you would be necessarily stepping a square away from blob, and blob, would then get an attack on you.
unless I step to there.
That diagonal square, you will still turn yourself from being within 10 feet of the blob that's... Sorry,
Further
readers.
to the right.
You would be leaving its 10-foot
This one.
area by stepping forward like that.
So it's a reach thing.
It's a reach thing, precisely.
It's just it's a little bit tricky.
Purple there. He's snookered behind the pink. It's taking a moment. Look at this shot.
See, what I'm hoping is that we can lure them to attack each other. They're not aligned, right? So the rock and the thing.
It's a good idea.
Well, they're all wearing the same insignia. No. There
All
doesn't seem
wearing
to
the
be
same
any
uniform.
kind of connection. It seems to be just complete coincidence.
Which looks like it has the higher rank. I'm going to hit something.
Right?
Question is, what am I going to hit?
Yes, I think that's the question we're all increasingly desperate for you to answer.
Excitingly,
Yes, is it another slow and inefficient go?
I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm
that's true.
tempted to take the
a
attack of
rock and a
opportunity.
squishy place, I think. is
Yeah,
actually-
very good. I'm concentrating here, don't distract me. I could take a 5-foot step towards the rock, hit the rock, sort of take myself slightly out of danger and put Parker directly into danger, but he loves being in danger.
Dr. Eusebio Spider Lucas seems to have turned into a puppy.
I could step to there, you see, but that puts me right between. That's stupid. That's just really stupid. I wonder if I could use my...
I love the idea of Purple just like,
Can I could
No,
move
but
forward a
I
little
could,
bit.
but if I,
this misty step, Mike.
yes,
I can use it as a reaction.
yes,
Can I use it as a action?
you don't feel that you're accustomed to it yet. You felt that it was something that you might be able to do again in the future, but that you were going to have to get your head around how it worked.
But obviously, a long time has passed, and I've now fully got my head around it.
I mean, at least an
A
hour.
minute and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
which
about
is
Waterfalls?
plenty of time. I haven't got any 5th levels left. I got no 5th levels. I got 1 4th level. I'm thinking I just hit it with the sword.
Johnny's
But the
changed his
question is,
tune
what
on
do I
the wall
hit?
of
I'm going
force,
to hit
isn't
one
it?
of these blobs with the sword.
The one next to you or the one... Yeah, the one next
The
to you.
one... Which one did I hit before?
The one that's a step away from you.
Don't like that. All right, I'll step up to it.
Yeah, blob,
I shall hit blob.
Okay.
I shall stop dithering.
Yeah, hit
And in
blob,
fact, I shall strike it with the sword of Zosiul.
Yes,
Sur la tête.
yes.
hitting armor class 17.
Is a hit.
Right.
You don't get the sense that these things are very difficult to hit, Purple. They're just like bouncy castles.
Can I pop it? I'm going to use my Psychic Blades.
Anybody know how this works?
Deals an extra 5d6.
Oh, it's a use of your bardic inspiration.
Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't
use
know
of
any
my
of that.
bardic inspiration. So I shall use one.
Bloody birds. They're so gross.
That's you talking your best. It does
Nope. 1.
5, and then it does a further 18.
Is it slashing damage?
Might be
I mean, how much of it is slashing damage?
all of it.
Doesn't the... Is
Oh no! So sorry, no.
Yeah.
The 5 is slashing damage.
Yes, and the rest
And
is...
the 18 is psychic damage.
Okay, you don't seem to harm it at all.
Hasn't got a brain. There's probably no psychic damage.
And you didn't seem to harm it with the slashing damage either.
It's not going well.
Alessandra's arrow seemed to have wounded it. It's still maybe squidged into a sort of pit on the side of it. But your sword of Zosiel just sort of slashed through it and it just sort of reformed itself around it. And the psychic component didn't seem to land at all.
Great.
Piercing or bludgeoning.
Even though it's a +2.
Even though
magical
it's
weapon.
a +2 magical weapon.
+2
Yeah.
magical.
+2 magical weapon. Yeah. All noted, all irrelevant.
Just going really well.
On 14, Parker. You've got a Vrock in front of you. You've got blobs behind you. You've got Burple, increasingly frantic Burple.
Here I am.
Alongside you, you've got
Stuck
Uncle
in the middle with
Buggy.
you.
You're stuck in the middle, yeah. What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to, for this round, just carry on welling it for the moment.
Welling, okay, yeah.
Wellying it.
Oh dear.
That'll be,
No.
I guess a 9 will be a miss.
Miss. Oh, that might be a
No.
hit.
And an 18
Is a hit. This is you're attacking the
hit.
figurine,
Ooh.
right?
7 plus 6 fire.
It's, you know...
Yeah, and then a 22
Oh, it's
for
also a hit.
6 points. Oh,
13.
13.
13 is a
That's
miss, I'm afraid, Parker.
miss.
A miss, Parker.
But it
Parker.
still needs to make a
Oh, a stunning strike save.
DC 14 Constitution.
Here we go. Its Constitution save is not... Ooh, it may
No,
have
no, I
failed.
think it made that last time.
It's fine. It goes... Alessandra on 12.
How's it go, Mike?
It's a griffin. It's a bit hoarse.
Oh, no, dear.
Who's running Alessandra?
All right. Don't be such a hippogriff. Alessandra is Dan.
No.
Alessandra
we
is
roll
Dan.
it round.
Oh, do you want to roll each? Do you want to
it
roll
round.
each round?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Here we go then. On a D4,
No.
Getty. Dan again.
Okay, Alessandra steps to the side and shoots the Vrock in the head. I believe she's got sharpshooter, I'm assuming, so she doesn't get any cover issues.
She ignores cover. Off you go. Big
Okay.
moment.
Bosh!
Oh,
Rolling a 1.
so miss.
It's just this
wow.
combat. I'm
Arrow
loving this combat.
shoots
by
over
the way.
Parker's
It's
head,
just-
smacks into the
shoots
cliff face on
into
the
Parker's head.
into Parker's. It just goes through in one ear out the other, like
His eyes light up.
like a joke shop arrow.
Yeah, like one of Johnny's pictures.
Yeah, and he's just standing there. Its effect on
And
Parker
then,
apparently none.
We'll step a bit further away as to not be caught in the 20-foot screamy effect.
On 11, it's Sessions EPA. Sessions, you can only hear what's going on because you're doing
Yeah.
your Carter Burke act, but you can hear the sound of combat.
Come on, kiddo.
It's a second chance, kiddo.
Yeah. Sessions will tiptoe.
Away.
Through the tulips.
He's going to tiptoe across the wall through. And he's wondering when he's standing here
At the doorway.
by the door,
Mm.
is Burple visible?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
he's-
think
yeah.
that Burple is visible.
In that case, he'll summon his spirit guardians.
Oh,
nice.
I like it.
You can see Burple, Parker, Uncle Buggy, and Alessandra. He'll summon the spirit guardians.
The creature doesn't make a saving throw until it starts its
Starts
turn.
its go,
Turn, yeah.
or enters it for the first time on its turn.
Got it. We may have to return at some point to a conversation we had another time, but we'll get into that when the time comes. Oh, now is when the time comes. Right, the creature starts its turn in the Spirit Guardians. What's the DC of the saving throw?
Wisdom 16.
And it rolls an 8. That is a fail. How much damage is it? Radiance.
Radiant. It is.
Doesn't get advantage on the dice rolls.
It does. Thank you, Johnny. I'd forgotten. Let me just make
Johnny,
that save
sorry.
again.
Oh, see, I'm not the only one.
Well, I'm only being
Oh,
honest.
an
you know.
18, it has
Cool.
saved.
See, I'm not there
Yeah,
anymore.
and it takes half the damage. Thanks, Johnny.
Half
So
the
extra experience
17.
bonus, please, DM.
A radiant, sir.
Yeah,
look at
you
a
think it's
good
looking
dice.
quite solidly bloodied, this weird miniature thing. And then it must decide what it wants to do next. It is going to emit a cloud of toxic spores.
Lovely. Isn't that lovely?
Can everybody within 15 feet of the creature, and this cloud spreads round corners, so that is Buggy, Sessions, Parker and Burple, give me a DC 14 Constitution save, please. I would recommend making the save. Let's
Constitution 14.
Oh dear!
Oh, it's a 14,
There's
so it's a
one.
nasty
So
one.
one.
Sessions gets a 15!
15 for Sessions.
I'll roll it
dice.
again.
Uncle Buggy's rolled a 1 twice.
Oh dear!
Okay, I'll roll it again.
Burple
Oh,
got not
20.
enough.
What was the?
And
What
we'll
was?
use an Ort dice.
Can you keep rolling ones with your luck trait, your halfling thingy,
Let me just look.
or is it like you roll it one
Burple's
again?
gonna use
One.
an Ort dice.
Yep,
Getting
making it.
16.
Me too.
And Parker used your dice, or you're doing it now.
I'm just about to 16.
That's
Yeah.
enough.
You
Okay,
must
made-
use the
Oh.
new roll.
Must use the new roll, so you failed, Uncle Buggy.
Can I use my
Yes, you can.
dice?
You've got your normal Ort dice, and you've got your special once-only Ort dice that you lost, but then regained as a
Oh.
result of your spider heroics.
Oh yeah.
Spider heroics is a term coined in his seminal 1978 paper by Dr. Eusebio Spider Lucas, present with us here this evening. You made it. Everybody made it. Still, that's used up a lot of Ort dice. It's done what it's done. The blobs. Blob 1, the blob that is wounded, and the blob that is next to Burple, is going to attack Burple. It reaches out with a swabble of bloody splub power
Bloody splub power.
and strikes against you, Burple, hitting armor class 26. That, I suspect,
Ooh.
is a hit.
It's a miss.
Plus 8.
Now, things
Oh, God.
are not good. The first thing that happens, Burple, first of all, there is no,
Is that I,
there's no
is that I
saving throws.
misty step to safety.
You take the following damage: 18 points of bludgeoning damage from the kind of impact of
Nasty.
this pseudo blob.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, the point where it touches you,
Yeah.
your skin splits and bursts open, and a
Pumping
trail
your life out of you.
of blood vapor emits from it and connects back into the creature.
So it's sucking my
And yeah, you
life
feel
force.
like yes,
Ugh.
your own blood is being sucked
Ugh,
through
it's
your
like a
skin,
leech.
and it's flowing through the air back into the blob.
Lovely.
You don't know what effect that may have on you in future, but that's what it's doing at the moment. It does look like this creature, if it is a creature, is extremely pleased that that has happened.
It's now
It
feeding
goes-
on me.
Blob 2
I have a bad feeling about this combat.
is going to go for Parker. Rolling a 5, missing Parker with a 13.
Go for that.
Are we going to have the discussion about whether it's now entered the...
Yes, we are. We're going to have a discussion about whether or not it has entered the
The
because
The spirit guardians.
what are we going to do about this? It's about entering and moving into areas of effect. Do you do so when you attack somebody that is inside the area of effect with an unarmed attack, with a slam attack or whatever? I'm not sure that you do, because I don't think you enter the area. I found in your favour when we last had this discussion, but I've had a chance to reflect upon that discussion. The logic of it is the creature is interacting with the area of effect in a meaningful way, in the sense that if this thing is dangerous, then when they touch it, they take damage. But on the other hand, if they were to have an attack of opportunity, they wouldn't take damage. Now, you could say, well,
But
that's...
if you take your damage at the start of your round, so if you're not in it at the start of your round, which you wouldn't be if you're just attacking,
It's also the
you
first
don't take any damage.
or when you enter the area of effect on your turn.
I don't. Yeah, but he's
I
not.
don't
is he?
think they are entering the area of effect. I think using an unarmed attack on somebody within the area of effect is not the same as entering. I think the base of the creature has got to
Yes.
enter the area. That's what I think.
I agree.
So in this instance, when it attacks Parker, I don't think it does have to make a save against the Spirit Guardians. There you go. They're done. Buggy. What do you want to do?
Attack.
Burple has
the
got a
Vrock.
weird vapor trail of blood leading from him into the blob.
Well, I'll deal with the rock first. Bash the rock is a 16.
It's a hit.
I do the following damage. 18, 3 of which is fire. And second hit is a 1. I
Yeah, you can
reroll
re-roll a 1. Yep. 19.
26.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
another
definitely a hit.
bash.
This thing's looking very wounded.
16,
It's
6 of which is fire.
it's not well, it is teetering, I'd say. I mean, it looks like it's on its last legs. I mean, it's got quite a lot of legs, but it's on the last of them, if you see what I mean. Anything else for Uncle Buggy? You going to move? You going to stay where you are?
Stay.
Top of a new round. Burbledy-herbledy-hoo.
Again, still don't know what to do here. Depends how much damage this thing is going to do on me. If I heal myself, it might stop the flow of blood. How wounded does this thing look?
Very difficult to tell. Give me a
Yeah, I know.
an intelligence check or a medicine
It's going
check.
to be regenerating with your blood, isn't it?
Medicine check is a 3.
You're all at sea. You cannot work anything out. I mean, Alessandra seems to have wounded it with her shot.
Okay.
You can't tell whether or not it actually seems to be revivifying itself now that it is sucking the blood out of your body.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't think you wounded it at all with your attacks. So quite where you are with it, I'm sorry, on a 2, it's not happening.
All of my damaging things are either psychic or slashing.
This, I'm not going to dress it up for you, Burple, is a problem.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
afraid I'm going to have to dimension door out of there.
Right.
You
I
could
think.
attack the Vrock. If you kill the Vrock, I can go and attack the blobs.
Yeah, but the problem is this thing. I'm also trying to break the contact, this feeding thing.
How many hit points have you got?
I've got quite a lot of hit points, but
They'll probably just do an automatic hit on you, and you could probably take a few of those.
I can move the spirit guardians. Oh, good. Over you.
yeah, but
And on to them.
the question is one of the attack of opportunity. If I move up to the rock, it will get an attack of opportunity on me.
Your problem is you can't damage the two things attacking you.
Yeah, so I have to get away from them.
Yep.
Burple here.
So I'm just thinking a dimension door
Stuck between the two pinks.
back into the chandelier room.
I would do greater distance just in case the sort of blood trail has
Has a
30
range.
foot or something.
Yeah.
Dimension dooring, you don't know if it's by virtue of the distance that you travelled or with the spell itself, but that has severed that connection. You appear in the chandelier room.
Right.
Parker sees this little trail of vapour that was leading to you go disappear. It just goes back into the body of this squawble beast.
Lovely.
That's Purple's round.
Well, in which case it is Parker.
Can I make a medicine check to see how wounded this rock is?
You don't need to make a medicine check. It's teetering.
Well, I will continue to bash it then.
There's a hit.
Armor class 21 for 7 plus 6.
It is on, absolutely. It's Death's Door. I mean, well, it can't be on
Armor
Death's Door,
class
but
23.
there's also a hit, and I think this is going to be enough.
5 plus 9.
It goes, and it is just a normal-looking bronze griffin figurine lying at your feet.
I'm not touching it. I will continue round.
You sure? You could pick it up and throw it again if you wanted.
No.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
use the rest of my flurry of blows on the blob.
Let's take a step. Okay, so
The
there's,
one I'm
there's
standing right next to.
so not the wounded one, the unwounded one.
Armor class
Yeah.
25 for
What kind of
8
damage?
points. Bludgeoning. No, that's a miss.
What did you hit?
10.
There's a hit.
10's a hit, right? Well, another 5 then.
Anything else?
Yeah, well, as I've hit it, I can move
Any
away
question?
from it without engaging an attack of opportunity. Backwards 2 steps.
Yeah, standing right next to that griffin figurine.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
for a moment there, your foot almost brushed
Cartoon
it.
dashes out of the corner of my eye down to the thing.
Making it yours. Alessandra,
Right, that's me.
on 12, being run by you, Lucas. Ooh, she doesn't have to step far before she'll be able to see one of these blobs.
A knight's move
Yes,
to the left
got it.
and shoot a blob. I think that's the most sensible thing to do. Is
It's a hit. Yeah, hit.
a 13.
Yeah.
6.
13 points of
13,
piercing damage. Okay, well,
Did she just get the one attack?
she
or
just
2?
gets the one attack as a rogue. On we go.
There you go.
Sessions on 11. Standing in the doorway looking out at the river and these things. You can still see
Yeah.
one of them if you stand a little bit to the side.
I will summon the crushing coin on this one. The one to the left.
Okay, roll to hit.
Armor class 10.
Oh my gosh, 10 is a hit.
Really?
Yes, really.
Excellent. 19.
19. I mean, it's difficult to tell what you're doing to these things, but you definitely hurt it.
And that's going to be done.
And then it's them. Blob 1 is heading for Parker. It blobbles up onto the shore, and it blobbles at you with its swirble tentacle.
Can I now ask a question? It's partially in my Spirit Guardians.
I'll resolve the attack, and then we'll do the damage. Is that all right?
That's fine. Whichever order you
It's
want.
armor class 20, Parker, which is not going to be enough, I suspect.
No.
It needs to make a saving throw. It fails that save.
Radiant, sir.
Oh,
15 points of
15
radiant,
points
sir.
of radiant damage. I don't think these things have got the brains to change their behaviour. The other one warbles up to Buggy, has to make a wisdom save, fails.
Radiant, sir.
Oh, blimey.
14 points of radiance.
I mean, they both look, to the extent that you can work out anything, you feel that at least at the moment you've done some damage to them. And the second one is going to attack Uncle Buggy. Armor class 21.
Yep.
You take 25 points of bludgeoning damage. And
So that's 12. Yeah.
where you were hit by this thing, your skin diffuses and breaks open, and a trail of blood vapor reaches out from you and into the creature. It seems extremely pleased that it's done that.
I'm going to do my reaction, Wrath of Storm.
Okay, and what does that do?
It does,
How many points of That's what we want to know.
it's got a DC 14 dexterity save.
Getting a 16, it saves.
8 points of damage.
What kind of damage?
What do you reckon, everybody? Thunder or lightning?
Thunder.
Thunder.
That thunder damage seemed to land. Highly successful. And now it is your turn, Uncle Buggy.
I don't have any blunt weapons, so I'm going to stop raging. I'm going to cast a shatter spell as a 3rd level spell, and then I'm using my destructive wrath to max out the damage.
Yes. Are you targeting
So
the one that's next to you, the one that's just attacked you?
The one that's connected.
Yeah, the one that's connected to you. Yeah.
So it will take 32 points of damage.
Save to half.
Save to just check the
I'm going to roll d20 just to see if it's worth looking up.
DC 14
12.
Constitution.
It makes that save. 16 points of damage.
Yes, thunder damage. Shall I move? I might move back a little bit. It's not going to get an attack of opportunity on me, is it?
You don't know.
Okay, I'll just stay there then.
Top of the new round, Beverly-Hubbledy-hoo. You can see Sessions and Buggy in the doorway as you run up
Yeah.
towards it, and then you can see the two
I'll
blobs.
move up a bit.
Yeah.
I'll move up a bit, and I will do Fairy Fire on them.
Nice.
Dexterity DC 15.
Both of them are saving
It's on
individually.
both of them.
Yeah. First one
It's on both.
rolls a 2 and fails. Second one rolls a 17 and saves.
Okay.
So, one of them is fairy fired. Blob D is fairy fired. Is that it for Purple?
That's it for purple.
Parker, it's your turn.
Lovely. Well, I will have a welly.
Okay, do you want to have an attack? Or... Okay,
Is now the time?
yeah.
Armor class 12.
12 is a hit.
Right, so there's 9 points from the sword, which is slashing damage, which you said that is
Yeah,
ineffective, but there's 5 points of fire damage.
yeah, got it.
Do I get the sense that the fire damage is doing any...
Yes, you do. You feel like you've burnt it a bit.
Okay, well, we'll have another attack with the flame tongue, seeing as I'm committed to that. That's a
Great roll.
12.
12 is still a hit, though.
8 from the slashing and 4 from the
Yeah,
flame. And then
yeah.
the unarmed strikes, which are bludgeoning, 15, so that's another 4 points. Then a 12, 19, which is 5 points of bludgeoning.
This thing looks like a very unhappy blob.
Last legs.
But it doesn't have legs. But if it had legs, it would be on the last of them.
Yeah.
You feel
And
it.
I just realised that because of the fairy fire, I would have effectively had
Yes. Advantage.
But I hit it every time anyway, so it didn't matter.
Could have got a critical.
Am I allowed to roll them again? Roll
I mean, I just...
4 d20s to see if a 20 comes up?
Roll 40-20s. If a 20 comes up, I mean, yeah, why not? Why be a
7.
Why be a curmudgeon when one can be
17.
a sunny little... Oh,
Yes, a 20.
Yeah.
And the final one, 3. That was the third attack, which is basically another d6.
I would advise you to make the D6 roll you're about to make phenomenally good.
Okay.
Oh,
5. Is that...
5 is exactly what you needed. As a result of your retrospective fairy fire, Mike being nice, friend guide, storyteller, critical hit, your fist squabbles this thing and it bursts wetly in a spray of blood and matter all over you. and you have destroyed it. Well done, Packer. On 12, it's Alessandra. Running a d4, getting a 3. It's Dan again. Dan's personal
Alessandra
bodyguard starts spooning her money into Burple's pockets.
What magic has Alessandra got?
She's got this quite tasty longbow.
She hands it off to Burple and says, I don't need this anymore. You can have it.
You don't need it either, Burple. You could just chuck it in the river, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think I will.
Snap it
As a
over your knee.
sacrifice. Alessandra will shoot the thing, ignoring the cover.
Ooh, it's a
hitting armor
hit.
class 25.
I don't think you're going to kill it this turn, but we'll see what happens.
9.
Yes.
And then the sneak attack damage, which is 5d6.
Yep.
23.
So much for my confidence. It's completely destroyed by that arrow.
Yes.
How incredibly annoying.
Excellent.
It explodes in a spray of matter all over
Pops like a balloon.
Buggy. Yeah.
Alessandra then lies prostrate at Burple's feet, worshipping and with her forehead to the floor, and says, "O mighty Burple, how may I be of perpetual service?"
I don't know quite what you were saying about Alessandra and Burple's prostate there, but anyway, let's move on.
Into the river we go.
I think prostrate might have been the word you were looking for.
Isn't that what I said?
Nope.
What did I say? I said prostate. Oh, damn it.
Well, there we are. We're all older gentlemen. It's on our minds. Yeah.
Yes.
You strapped on the plastic glove and prostated him.
Yes, that's what she's done. Okay, all a bit Blink 182, but let's move on and also delete this bit.
Yeah.
Because we
Good
can't
plan.
have jokes about. Yep. Because it is
both
not
buried as
funny. Right, that might stay in. That's what she said. The she left the glove behind. Oh no. What do you want to do? What do you want to do now? The ominous river flows onwards. Burple feels a strange compulsion to join the river on its flow towards the land of destiny.
I think this is a good compulsion, probably. But where did I remind you? Where did I first?
Well, Burple,
I saw a vision, didn't I?
You saw a vision of this river of blood as you stepped through the original Dimencio portal that led you here in the first place. You saw it again when you touched against the flame opal in the weird map display behind the false doors in the silent gallery when you were with Hesty. And you can kind of feel that connection. You can feel the call of the river.
What do I feel about this sodding figurine?
It's just sitting there looking perfectly innocent. I mean, it belongs to you at the moment, anyway.
If I do a ritual detect magic,
Yes.
am I able to determine whether this thing is somehow still connected to me, i.e. a permanent curse type thing?
Well, you didn't have
Type
to attune with it. Don't have to attune
That's
with
true.
Figurines of Wondrous Power, which is why you regarded it as being such a snaffle when you first gained it. It is not connected to you directly in that sense.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as whoever throws it has to deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. We could just leave it here.
Yeah.
One hopes. But curses don't work the same way, do they? But I don't know.
Give me an Arcana check.
12.
Your sense is that cursed items, despite all of the researches and efforts of the wizarding community, still no one has worked out a reliable way of determining whether or not an item carries a curse. Cursed items often detect or read as the standard items of their type. That's the first thing. Second thing is, if you're not attuned to it, your sense is that it's really just a question of who happens to be holding it, who happens to be using it. You think it's unlikely that ever since you first gained possession of it, it has become Burple fixated.
Okay. So, I'm basically out of spells.
Okay, you've got a good couple of hours to wait until midnight.
Combat-wise, I can continue with short rests. I've got nothing against a long rest. And presumably we can hole up in one of these chambers.
I get my bardic inspiration back, at least.
With a
after
short rest.
With a short rest.
I'm feeling like we don't want to go in this river
That's what I'm thinking.
without being, on top form, because otherwise something is going to, something's going to turn up, isn't it? I mean, the room between the one we're in now and where...
Can anyone fly?
Can anyone what?
Fly.
Fly.
Fly. Yeah.
Fly.
I wish I could fly.
Well, I can.
No, I
Yeah.
can't fly.
So you can fly. So
I've
you
got a
could
broom of flying. Yeah.
you could scout ahead. Yes, Graham?
Yeah, I was checking
Graham
whether I'm the
can
only
like that
person
idea.
that can fly. And
think you have to attune
Alessandra
to it.
can fly as well.
Oh, can
she
she?
has wings of flying.
Okay, well, she can go and scout ahead. That's her job.
Alessandra has to wait a couple of hours before she can fly, but yes.
Does she?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Somebody needs to look up wings of flying.
Right.
But I think we'd established that once she starts to fly, she gets an X amount of flying. I'll look it up while you chat.
Once that...
Yeah, once that...
I'll
sorry.
come in again.
Can't use them again for a D12 hours.
There we go, and I think he's rolled. And I think the last time we discussed this, he felt that it was 2 more hours before he could use them. And that was when you were freeing Hesty, which I think was about half an hour ago. So let's say an hour and a half. So let's say at 11 o'clock this evening, Alessandra can fly again.
So
Right.
we could take a short rest.
You could take a short rest, but I should remind you that you've pretty much all burnt all of your dice. But there are key points to be had and whatever.
Well, I think probably all of us apart from me.
That's a separate question. Okay, yeah.
Because I didn't have the combat, so...
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yes. Throw him to the floor.
Oh, yes, throw him to the floor.
Throw him to the floor.
What's against
What's the-
taking
what-
a long rest?
What's against...
The number we've taken
It's
recently,
all
I
just
think.
about whether or not you're disturbed.
It's just 10% longer, that's all.
I vote we do that.
Is that what you're doing? And if you're doing it, where are you doing it?
We're doing it
I think-
after dark. Doing
I think
it
we can go
in the park.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
In this room.
Oh, that room.
Yeah.
Which room?
The one at the bottom.
The little annex room off the main spider home. Is that where you're going?
Mm-hmm.
Spider Homan.
Spider home. I think I'm using the right terms. Dr. Eusebio, you're the expert.
Yeah. Dr. Eusebio Spider Homan.
You'll begin from his seminal paper, Arachnohomes, Terminology,
Arachnohomes.
Descriptions and Analyses. Faber and Faber, 1978.
So
they,
what's
tend,
happening?
they tend to have factors of 8 in them.
What's
8
happening?
knives, 8 spoons, 8 forks.
2 to the power 3.
Are we talking Dr. Eusebio Spider Homan?
You going to go and hang out in that little room?
I think we should go out and hang out in that little room for 9 hours.
Close the door behind you?
Yep.
You are not disturbed. Nothing happens.
Happens.
Until 8 the next morning. That is Thump Day, the 4th of Fart.
Yep.
You can emerge from the Arachno home. Kevin MacLeod standing there saying, you know, what an amazing space. I love the way it honours the local landscape. Incredible use of materials.
So we can press the long rest
You
button.
can press the long rest button, yeah.
Confirm.
Confirmed.
Information. Our readers are not going to get
Pressing
this.
the
are they?
long rest.
Nobody's going to know what the hell we're talking
What the
about.
fuck are they talking about? Yeah,
Just doing
absolutely.
these weird things.
Yeah.
Why are these people?
These old fuckers.
On we go.
Confirmed. That's from for anyone who's wondering
Younger
what the
than
hell
us.
we're doing. That's Blake
I've
7.
switched on Aurak.
Yes,
And
I
so
remember
that was-
the...
Yeah, Graham and I went to the Blake 7 exhibition.
Was that Aurak or Zen?
It was Aurak.
What?
So no,
Aurak.
Zen was confirmed.
Zen is confirmed.
Yeah.
Aurak was just basically a box, a
With
perspex
lights.
box full of circuitry
Yeah.
and lights, and the circuit was completed by putting a little perspex block which completed the circuit.
Yes.
You know, there we go. That's how it was done in the 70s.
Yeah.
But Aurak was like, oh, I think I did it. Basically, Hesty Testapod.
When heroes look like they should have been, barmen.
Well, yeah, the slightly shabby, slightly overweight heroes. The guns were sort of like ice cream cones with light prongs sticking out the top.
Right.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, they were good. Very 70s.
The baddies look good.
And then
in
they
those
had
days.
very good teleport bracelets.
Yes.
Bum,
But
bum, bum,
tomorrow,
bum,
people.
all this is coming out. Bum, bum, bum,
How can it come
bum,
out?
bum.
It's
Well,
It's
because
perfect.
I don't know why somebody started doing the countdown
Wow.
sound then. Anyway, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Come on. Come on.
It's not countdown, it's the Blake 7. It's theme tune.
What?
D&D?
D&D.
Did it?
D&D.
So, Alessandra is going to fly down the river and investigate. Actually, not. Sessions is flying down, scouting ahead.
why
On the sweepstake. Wedder.
Because you can fly, Graham.
Yeah, come on, Graham.
No.
You can
I
fly.
thought Alessandra was going to fly.
Yeah, no,
Alessandra has a one-use fly item, whereas you have an ongoing fly item. It just makes logical sense.
It's one of the hazards about picking that sort of item.
Yeah, it's one of the hazards. of picking
Sessions
that
doesn't go with that. This feels very uncomfortable.
Does he? Well, he should have put a seat or something on it.
You can give it to me if you want. I'll fly ahead.
The idea that Johnny
Nah,
is somehow sort of does tusking sessions for his item choice when he accidentally picked the OK sword of potato eating by accident. Anyway,
Alessandra will fly down just to speed things up.
so Alessandra is going to follow the course of the river.
Yeah.
She can
Seems so much
follow
better.
either the left fork or the right fork. Which fork is she picking?
Left.
We're going to do this theatre of the mind.
Okay.
It's not undoable, but the level of the cavern above the level of the water is such that flying is a little constricted. She can, of course, fly along and sort of drag her feet in the water.
Yeah.
She flies further to the east, let's say another 20-25 feet, and then she must decide again. She can either go left, north, or she can go straight on, east.
Is there any apparent
It just looks exactly
difference?
the same. Ever since she took the northern fork,
Yeah.
she's clearly in an area of much more sort of still, aimless current. She feels she's
Yeah.
in some form of dead
Okay,
end.
she'll go-
Or, yeah,
Take the right fork
leads on about another 20 feet and ends in a dead end.
and the left fork.
Another dead end. I'll just do that on the map now for you. She's found a set of dead ends. She can return back to where the current splits, and she could make the decision to head southeast. She feels that the course of the torrent is going southeast and curving away, so she feels it's leading effectively back down the side of the chambers that you've been exploring.
Yeah. Okay, she'll go that way.
10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet. She's getting quite distant from you now. She's been gone for a while. She's scanning the surface of the water ahead of her. It widens a little, it widens a lot, and she finds herself in an open area. The current is split by a small boulder that protrudes above the surface, but then there's only about 10 to 20 feet more raging torrent before the whole thing plunges over the edge into an abyss that heads down. The sound is thunderous where she is now. It's dark. She can't see past the torrent. It's basically a waterfall that's going down a sinkhole. She thinks that it would be navigable, though, as in the water is cascading down this sinkhole, but it's not a completely filled aperture. There is space to descend, fly, climb with the water thundering by you.
Right. She will come back and report what she's seen. Is there an obvious way for somebody who's not flying to get down there safely?
She thinks that it would be climbable but very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
The sinkhole itself is, let's say it's 20 to 30 feet across. The torrent flows over the edge. The far wall, though it's slick with crimson-tinted moisture, would technically, she thinks, be climbable.
Okay.
Unless you can think of another way.
Isn't there a path south of the Hesty prison room?
There is a set of
Downstairs.
stairs that lead south out of the room with the lightning globe. Yeah.
Why didn't we go that way?
We were drawn by the blood.
Purple is drawn by
Yeah.
the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, purple's drawn by the blood.
We could at least peer that way and see where it takes us, maybe.
Yeah.
Alessandra's
that?
looked that way. Would you like me to refresh your memories about what she
Yes,
saw?
please.
There was a short 5-foot flight of steps that led down in a choked passageway. They led to nothing, as in they led down and then just stopped, and there is a 40-foot drop at the bottom of them.
Didn't Hesty tell us that that wasn't a good way to go?
No, Hesty didn't express any opinion about that
okay.
way. There is a 40-foot drop down to a relatively constricted corridor, if you like, that seems to split and head east and northeast. The floor is a very kind of stylized mosaic of red tiles that glitter. There is a set of metal rungs that lead down from the by-foot staircase down the 40 feet to the floor below. General sense when we were looking at that it basically screams trap. But nothing bad happened when Alessandra was looking at it. There's no obvious mechanisms or anything like that.
What do you think, guys?
Alessandra senses that the river at the point where she got to the sinkhole was sort of around about that far south.
What's the prospect of swimming?
As we all know, the swimming rules are ridiculous. You can hold your breath forever, so far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Main problem is going to be falling. You're not quite sure what your experience would be like were you to be swept up by the current and over the edge and down the sinkhole. Could plunge into a pool, right? But you could also plunge onto rocks 100 feet below.
Yeah, I'm just really kind of thinking about ropes and attaching pittons and...
Well, that's doable.
Yeah, but I'm not clear on the distance because you insist on this ridiculous,
You mean the distance between where you
theatre
are
of the
and where the
mind.
sinkhole is in terms of travelling?
Yeah.
Alessandra travelled at least 130 feet before
Okay,
she got to the sinkhole.
Right. And how fast is the river travelling is the other question. So could we get to the bottom, stop ourselves, bang in the pit and lower ourselves down on a rope?
Alessandra's judgment of that is that it would be a close run thing. I've been describing it as a torrent.
How much does Burple weigh?
Trying to remember where that is. That'll be here. Characteristics. I haven't got a weight.
How much is your gear?
I don't know that.
It's on
God.
the weight carried. It's on your inventory.
123 pounds.
Burple, you're a... Well, we don't know what you are.
I'm
So far as you know,
Azimar.
you're an Azimar, so you're a Celestial. So basically, you're a human. So you're going to weigh about 180 pounds. So you're
Well,
going
it
to weigh
turns
about...
out I'm actually
Under
half
descrip-
human.
Well, we're not sure.
I'm half human, half wind.
Let's not get into that. But let's say you're about 300 odd pounds, including your gear.
Oh, okay, you're a fatty.
Oh, no, I'm not.
I think the words bag of holding are
Yeah.
wandering their way
No, but the other
inevitably
thing is,
How much does
in the
Buggy
direction
weigh?
of this conversation.
Oh, sorry, all I'm thinking is basically Alessandra bangs in an iron spike at the top, attaches a rope to it.
I can lift 260 pounds with me because I'm so light.
Right.
I think I'm 40 pounds.
Put together something that makes sense and we'll work our way through it.
My thought process is the broom of flying can carry 400 pounds. Yeah?
Yeah.
And
I weigh 115 pounds, Graham. So I'm
Including your-
carrying 115 and I weigh 40.
okay, so I can ferry you.
So you're like a mouse carrying a wardrobe.
Something like that, yeah.
Yes.
That's
You've
like
got a problem
halfling.
with
I mean,
that?
I'm a fat halfling and I weigh 45 pounds, apparently. Apparently, I'm only 2 foot 10 inches tall.
Yeah, I know. And Buggy's only 3 foot tall. And you have a bag of holding. And you've got a broom of flying. And you've got a flying character. Surely
Yeah.
there must be a way of making this work.
Yeah. What does Parker weigh?
He's a half orc, so he's not going to be that light.
But your gear is probably light because you
My
don't
gear
have
is
armor.
light.
Can you drop down anyway with your monkish thing?
Well,
If you're
yes.
next to the waterfall edge.
I suspect the dropping down is not the problem. It's the
No.
flying up. Should we need to do it relatively quickly? That's the challenge.
What was the distance again?
It's about 120 feet.
Yeah,
Well-
I can.
Alessandra thinks it's more than 100 feet
Mhm.
that she flew down that passageway before she got to the waterfall. How deep is the waterfall? She's got no idea.
Surely it's better to go through the lightning room, down the drop there, and see where we're at
Could do.
first,
Okay.
before we try the insane jump down the plunge pit in the dark. We might get to the end.
Back to the lightning room.
I don't mind heading down.
Yeah, back to the lightning
Okay.
room.
You're standing at the end of the Hesty room. You're looking down a 5-foot flight of stairs that drop about 2 or 3 feet. They just pitch off into nothing. And there's a 40-foot drop at the bottom of those stairs down to some sort of area or corridor or passageway just below them. What do you want to do?
Well, I do a light on a pebble and I head down there, down the steps.
And then it's 40 foot from the bottom of the stairs straight down. You can climb
Well, I
down
can
a ladder that is
ring of
inset into the
jumping.
wall. A ring of jumping. So you just drop straight down.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just
Okay.
describe what you can see. I'll just refresh your memory on...
I can ferry someone down.
Okay.
Well, I can just walk down.
Can you?
If it's 40 foot. Yeah.
And I can ferry Burple down then.
Are we going to do this one at a time, or what are people doing?
Well,
Do you
we'll
want
go
me
down together, don't we?
Okay.
Alessandra's the scout.
Is she flying or is she climbing?
She already activated her wings. She has.
Of course she has, yes. So she flies down. The floor of the room is 40 feet below the bottom step.
Right.
Sparkles with an intricate pattern of scarlet tiles in a swirling mosaic. She can ignore the rungs
Okay.
that protrude from the wall just below the stairs. Doesn't need them. When she gets down there are 2 hallways. Let me just set things up. First of all, Uncle Buggy's not there. Alessandra is. Have I got that right? Yeah.
Do you want me to ferry Uncle Buggy down at the same time?
Yes, please.
Okay, and so joining Alessandra at the bottom, there is also Sessions and Uncle Buggy. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and let me show you what you can see. Who's got dark vision, who's not?
I've got a light
Got
spell.
a light spell that goes 20 foot bright, 20 foot dim. Yeah.
I'll cast light on the broom of flying. That's a cantrip.
You can see a passageway leading up to your northeast and a passageway leading straight away to east. They both end in rough cavern wall, so it looks sculpted, organised, architected. There are stones inset into the walls. Parker, Burple, you're back in the room above, more than 40 feet above them, so you can just hear them kind of floopling about beneath them,
What?
but you can't see anything of what's going on.
No, I'm walking down.
Oh, so Parker, you're going as well.
Yes.
Okay. let's move your figure. You walk down the walls.
Presumably I can carry Burple. I can carry you down.
No, I want to stay back for the time being.
Okay, so Burple's standing at the top of the stairs. Parker's wandered down the wall. Alessandra has flown down. And Sessions has ferried Buggy down. Yes? But I'm not presuming that you're landing. I'm saying that you're hovering. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll drop Buggy onto the ground if he wants to be dropped onto the ground.
Do you want to be dropped onto the ground, Buggy?
I'm
Or
hovering.
do you want to be hovering?
Yeah, I'll drop to the ground.
Okay, you drop to
Then I'll hover above him.
Yeah, Buggy. The moment that you're dropped onto the ground, an iron panel slides out of the wall at the base of the stairs, sealing this chamber off from the area to the north. Burple, you're up in the Hesty room. You just hear a kind of shing, and suddenly you can't hear or see anything of your comrades.
Yeah.
Parker, how close do you think you are to this iron panel? The iron panel's built into the base of the stairs. Do you feel you're down with the others, or do you feel you're just over the edge?
No, I think I'm down with the others.
Down with the kids.
It was a move action.
Yeah, you don't get a chance to jump back then. The moment that the panel slides across, the rough cavern walls at either end of the spurs burst open, and a wall of red water starts rushing towards you. It looks like it's going to sweep you away, and we will find out how much trouble
so annoying.
when we pick things up next.
Sorry, the water's coming down one of them and it's going to sweep us down the other passageway.
Looks like it, yeah.
Coming from the northeast one.
No, we'll get into all that next time.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. A Gathering of Winds and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. A Gathering of Winds was written by Wolfgang Bauer. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.